Greetings, citizens, and welcome back to the Hidden Dagger Inn. When Ashes of Creation suddenly shut down, a lot of us had the same sinking feeling, and we asked ourselves, now what? And for many MMO players, especially those of us in Ashes who were emotionally and mentally invested in it, the weekend felt really empty. Nothing else felt ready, nothing else felt exciting. I found myself staring at the Steam store with that blank stare on my face and just feeling numb. And suddenly the whole genre and gaming in general just felt really strangely hollow. And then sometime yesterday I had a guildmate message me and he goes, "Hey, Quinfall just announced it's going 1.0 on February 6th and they're doing a complete wipe." I'll be honest, my first reaction wasn't excitement. I had tried Quinfall months ago when I was able to get it on sale for $2.99 and wrote it off as something I'd really probably never seriously play. But with Ashes Offline, I figured, why not? I wasn't missing anything. So I booted it up. And somehow, after booting it up, I actually stayed up all night and played it. Against all my expectations, I was having a good time. Now, I'm a bit of a weirdo as far as, tastes in games, so I had to confirm with my guildmates, were you guys having fun too? And we had, I think, 27 players in last night, and they all were actually very surprised and pleasantly surprised with the level of gameplay that was involved with Quinfall. And from everything I've been hearing from players who tested it over a year ago, the game has made some huge improvements since then. So if you have it in your library, fire it up again and see if it's any better for you. Now, don't get me wrong, this is not a dream MMO, but it's exactly what we need right now after what happened to us. And let me be very clear. I'm not here to sell you a fantasy about Quinfall being the next MMO savior. There's no referral code, there's no hype train, and no illusion that this is secretly Ashes 2.0. So I'm posting this video because my friends and I have genuinely enjoyed our experience so far in Quinfall. And I wanted to make sure that other MMO players, especially us Ashes of Creation refugees, know that there's something maybe out there worth exploring. And particularly if you had Quinfall early and just wrote it off, or just missed it entirely. And what Quinfall has right now is something incredibly valuable. A real MMO we can actually play. And come Friday on February 6th, it'll be wiped in a brand new world for all of us. And after our emotional whiplash of Ashes shutting down, Quinfall has given my brain somewhere else to go. It has progression, it has systems, it's got goals without asking you to emotionally invest in a 5-year roadmap that may or may not survive. And honestly, that's exactly what a lot of us need right now after the emotional trauma that we just went through. So let me share a few of my experiences from Quinfall from my limited time in there so far. And one of the first things that hits me when you start playing is just how big the world is. The game's world is enormous. I think it's roughly around 2,000 square kilometers, which makes it one of the largest open world MMOs. And you can feel the size into play, towns feel far apart, traveling feels meaningful, and when you're riding across the plains, it actually feels like you're crossing a continent instead of a theme park. But there's fast travel, something that we're not used to in Ashes of Creation, but they have it here. The progression that actually seems to have a long-term arc to it. Quinfall's main quest lines and guided progression can carry you cleanly to level 50, but the game doesn't stop there. The true long-term grind all the way to level 100, giving players something real to chase beyond just the early game. We're not just racing to a soft cap and calling it done. It feels like we're building towards a real end game with some room for specialization, some power growth and some refinement over time. Now, every arena, dungeon, caravan run, and the crafting, which is going to be really important in this game, it's going to feed into something bigger. Now, that's just some of the good, and there's more good to come. But first, I need to comment on at least what I feel is some of the bad. Yes, the combat in Quinfall is definitely its weakest point. It feels clunky and janky and dated. But a major combat overhaul supposedly is on the way, I think as early as Friday. And even now, the rest of the game carries it though. Where Quinfall shines is in its system, and you always hear the term gameplay is king. Now here's a bonus depending on whether you're a PvE PvE or PvP player, you can freely switch between both of the servers. Your warehouse is going to be shared, your character is going to be shared. So you can learn the game safely before jumping into the PvP, or you can do a PvP arena while on a PvE server. So that's a huge quality of life feature right there. And as far as the class system, it works, I guess, a lot like New World, where you choose a weapon, and that weapon is going to define your playstyle and skill trees. Each weapon has 2 trees with 10 weapons total. That means you're going to have pretty much 20 different builds to experiment with. And as I mentioned before, they have that arena system. And from what I see, it pops up every hour. I think they have 3 different maps, but I've only played 2. I played to capture the flag. It's very fun. You'll want to make sure you do these because you're going to get loot from them and you're going to get good experience from doing them. Now, so far, what I've experienced in Quinfall, it's not a full loot PvP game. You don't lose your inventory when you die. However, I do hear in higher level zones, you do lose durability, and I think some gear can be lost. That's why crafting and gathering are going to be so important. Gathering is everywhere. Tons of resources types. You got different shapes and sizes of trees, rocks, flowers. The system is skill based too, so when you hit level 10, you don't need to run off and unlock some new materials or go to a trainer or no new tool. You can get a better tool, but you don't need a specific new tool to do it. There's no friction. And crafting, it feels like it's really meant to matter, not just exist. You're going to be able to purchase crafting stations and place them in your house. And as far as the rest of the game, it really has a complete feature set. You're going to, like I said, you're going to have fast travel. You're going to have a tameable and breeding system. You get to tame the animals with a lasso, which has a little bit of a mini game to it. Pretty cool. You have expansive gathering and crafting systems, ships and caravan system. Like I said, you have instant housing. Players can have farms that they can buy and plant their crops. You have a quest line to level 50. You get clan wars. You can also fight over territories, dungeons, grinding zones, quest boards, and so far, no obvious pay to win. Oh, and did I mention that they have a marketplace system that's got buy orders on it and some pretty good searching? Way better than Ashes of Creations was. From what we can tell, it's a buy-to-play game with, I guess, what you would call a V-coin shop, meaning it's meant for cosmetics, and you can definitely tell that there's going to be some pay for convenience in there. One of the things I noticed is the backpack, you can make it much larger by unlocking it, so I'm guessing that's meaning to unlock with some pay. To me, that's not pay to win. Some players claim it is. It has some of those elements. I or the guildmates have not seen that yet, but that's something that you should be aware of before deciding to try it or not. So they're really a small team. I think they started with 8 developers. Now they currently have 56 developers from what I could find. That's pretty tiny as far as studios go. So if you have to throw them a little bit of coin or you want to help them out with some cosmetics or for some pay for convenience or extra backpack space, to me, not a big deal. As long as the RMT and pay to win is not a thing. Now, one of the things you'll be interested in is it seems like from my first impressions, players cannot trade directly to each other, which eliminates people getting funneled gold in that way. So they've already taken that step already. Also, they're active in chat. They moderate it and they don't like people who grief, so they will and have threatened to ban people. So that was very refreshing to see. It's funny how such a small group of developers can manage to do this, and yet Ashes of Creation could not. Now, I haven't had a ton of time to sink my teeth into this game because, well, I'm making this video for you guys. But so the question you're asking yourselves is Quinfall worth your time? If you expect a polished AAA MMO, you're going to be disappointed. But if you go into it with no expectations for a low cost of $10 and you want a massive world and some real progression and something to sink your time into now that Ashes of Creation has gone dark, Quinfall might be good. It might surprise you. The $10 is absolutely worth a look. Look, worst case, if you don't like it, you 2 hours and you bounce. Best case is you find a new home and we can explore the world together. So if you miss Ashes, or if you're a new MMO player with nowhere to go, or you're just looking to focus on something, check out Quinfall and see what you think. And even better, if you see this video right now or tonight, you're going to have a chance to download it right now and play and see if you even like it before it releases on Friday. And if you do like it, you'll get a chance to learn a little bit about the game before you start on Friday. And on a few final notes, one note is to my Ashes of Creation fans and to any Ashes of Creation developers that are possibly watching this. One, developers and fans, I love you guys. I appreciate all the hard work that you guys put into Ashes of Creation. I do not blame you. This is a horrible situation. There's obviously people to blame, but I'm not going to do it in this video. But the developers, I love you guys. It's not your fault. To the fans, thank you so much for supporting me. But let's move on to bigger and better things. Other than that, I hope you guys leave a comment. If you decide to go ahead and try out Quinfall, let me know what you think about it. I hope to see everybody there, and thanks for watching. And as always, may your caravans find safe passage. Take care, all.